Hello, this is Carmel Archdeacon, and I'm here with Larry Woody, the program director of Focus on Fathers. And he's been doing this for about 15 years, you said?
15 years.
15 years. Excellent.
What time?
So I just wanted to thank you for coming on and just ask you a few questions about what you do, because I think it's so amazing.
Okay, well, I'm program manager for the Focus on Fathers program, and it's a federally funded program. We're part of the Public Health Management Corporation, a division called Health Promotion Council. So it's the Focus on Fathers at the Health Promotion Council. And we've been doing this work for probably 20 years or so. The program's been around. As I said, we're funded by the federal government. It's a 5-year grant. It's a lot of money. And essentially what we're charged with is offering support to fathers, which we view as an underserved population. So the whole program centers around parenting education. So we offer parenting education. It's a 13-week course, and guys have to, if they enroll, they have to finish at least 12 out of the 13 classes to get a certificate of completion, which shows that they completed it. And they also get like $200 in gift cards if they complete the program. We also have a program called Remix that we offer, and that's healthy relationships co-parenting, and that's for men and women. Focus on Fathers is just for men. And so I manage both programs, and I facilitated both curriculum. And so the fatherhood piece is essentially what we're just trying to do, is to get guys to understand how important they are to their children. And our clientele are largely inner city, largely Black and brown guys. What we find is very often, it's not that men don't want to take care of their kids. Very often they just don't know how. They don't even know what that means, taking care of their kids. They think it's like buying a pair of sneakers every now and again. And so you've got to dispel that myth. It's a lot more than that. I was very close to my son. And so I think that what I want to do with this program, and now that I manage it, I get to direct it, the direction it takes. But I just want guys to understand how much work is involved, and that, the fact that you have a child means that, life has changed, and there's certain things that you just have to do. Now, I'd like to let you off the hook, but I can't, because you got kids. It's that kind of thing, and it's that kind of candor that we bring to these guys, and they listen to us because we're men. Our staff, we're all fathers. We've all been around. One guy's from New York originally. I'm from Baltimore originally. We have a guy from Philadelphia, and they're all really committed to it. And then we also offer the healthy relationship co-parenting thing, and that's equally. As a matter of fact, the curriculum for that is much better than the one for the men. The curriculum for Remix is really good. My former supervisor wrote it, and basically there we're trying to help couples understand how important their relationships are to the well-being of their children. And so I'll say that most of our clients may be involved in the system, in the social service system in some way or another. So, on the fatherhood side, we get a lot of guys referred from adult probation and parole, DHS, lawyers, judges, even from the criminal court, and basically they're if these guys have kids, they're giving them things to do, maybe as part of probation or whatever, and some of it might be taking a parenting class. And this is it's a pretty valuable thing to these guys. It's something that they may not have thought about ever, but it's something, if they have kids, they should have thought about. And a lot of the people that take the Remix class, the healthy relationship co-parenting class, those are people generally who are maybe DHS involved. Their kids are in foster care. And again, we're getting at how important the relationship is to the well-being of your children. That's where we're coming from. Long answer to your very short question.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing the work that you're doing. How did you get involved with this?
I I'd worked in a daycare center years ago for 5 years in a daycare center. I was the lead teacher in an infant room. That's something men don't do, really, particularly back then. I'm saying like 30 years ago. And then I worked for Early Head Start. I was another place where I was the only guy, and I'm working with moms and I'm helping them with child development. I knew a lot about children. I had the first 3 years of my son's life, I stayed home and raised him. And out of all of that work, I realized that I should be working with men, because when I worked at Children's Hospital as a home visitor, I would go to the houses and it would just be the mom, and it would, and I'd bring my toys and I'd get on the floor with the kids and we're playing and whatever. But like the fathers, generally, when that would happen, they're like, this is a chance for me for 45 minutes, an hour and a half to go play basketball or whatever. But I wanted to get men involved. And so I heard about this program, Focus on Fathers. And someone said, you should be doing that. And I decided I'm going to try it, and it became a calling. It's like, this is sort of what it seems I was born to do. All that work with children and raising my son, it was all a background. Although, before that, I had been a professional actor. I just totally shifted gears.
Wow.
It happened when my son was born. Because as an actor, you're always broke. You never know when I'm saying, but and I've done, I was in New York. I'd done some great things, some good stuff. But when my son was born, it was like I had to give up that life. It just wasn't conducive to me to raising a child unless you're really wealthy, which I was not. And so, so I went in and interviewed, and I think they were amazed when I walked in with all the experience that I'd had. Where'd you come from? Because they had never heard of me, but it's because I was an actor. I just came from out of the blue, and I decided that this is important work. This is something that I should be doing. This is a good thing to do with your life, I can still I've written a screenplay. I've written a ton of songs. I still can do all that, but this is my full-time job. And this is, I think, what I'm most proud of. Although, honestly, what I'm most proud of is working in that daycare with those babies. I love that. I love the fact that they'll never remember me. I had them when they were 6 months old, and, they were in my class. I had 20 babies in the room. And I know that, but they're not used to men doing that.
No.
I'm saying this is 30 years ago. It was like incredible, I knew, so I see the parents now and they say, oh, she still remembers you. Oh, she was 6 months old. She doesn't remember me, but it's like 30 years ago, but they're fully grown. They have their own kids and all of that. But I'm proud of that I did that sort of work, because it was out of the ordinary.
Maybe you could do a little bit of that when you retire. Just visit daycares and play with babies.
Right. And I take my guitar, because that's what I used to play guitar for.
Oh, nice.
You can sing anything, this, you got kids, sing anything to a 6-month-old, 8-month-old, they'll just sit there and they're happy or whatever you're doing. It was
great. They love it. They're like mesmerized. Yeah.
And I know all the children's songs, ABC, all the songs, and I can't think because I haven't played in a while, but but I remember Barney was big back then. I knew all of those songs, and I would just run through them, and they just sit and smile, and they were happy. They're well fed and changed. But anyway, yeah. So I decided that I wanted to do this work and just stay with it.
Great. So how can someone get involved in in getting one of these classes, or, getting the certification if they're not referred by a service that, like you were saying? No, can they just sign up?
Yes. Okay. Anybody, we're Focus on Fathers is available to anybody who's 18 years of age and older, who live in Philadelphia and who has a child, or expecting a child. The program's free. None of it costs anything. And essentially, to get in touch with us, you just go to our website. It's www.focusonfathers.org. focusonfathers, all one word, .org. So it's www.focusonfathers.org. That's our website. And when you go to that page, you'll see a big banner that says, click here if you want to refer somebody or if you want to refer yourself. If you click there, you're going to give us your name, your address, your phone number, and anybody can do this. It takes just a couple of minutes. When you complete that, form, it immediately sends me an email. And I immediately assign that case to a case manager. And the case manager will get to that person within 48 hours and basically find out if they're really interested, what it is they're seeking. I mean, because besides the parenting education class, everybody's assigned a case manager, and the case manager's job is to connect them with other resources that they may need. Like if they got custody, generally if they have a custody situation, they're going to talk to me because I'm the custody person. Although I'm not an attorney, dozens and dozens of guys, I've done this. And I know how it works and I know how to tell them what to do. And sometimes guys need maybe mental health counseling, and we will refer them to Counsel for Relationships. That's where we used to refer them. And, and it's all, again, it's all free. We would pay for some sessions if they needed that. But they just go to www.focusonfathers.org, complete the form. Now, I will say that it's really better, like, because see, what happens is a lot of moms will hear this and they're gonna go there and they're gonna refer their sons or their grandsons. That's usually not the best way for it to happen. Really the guy should do it. If I call him and say, well, first of all, he's not know who I am. And then he's going to say, well, how'd you get my number? Well, from this woman. He says, that's my grandma. I told her not to do that. I mean, you don't know how many times I hear that. And then I've got to work to win him over. It's really better if he does it himself. It's just much better. Because then there's a chance that they may stick with it or whatever. But, if their mom or grandma told them to do it, who knows, it's just hard to get past that.
Sure, sure. So have that conversation in advance and get the buy-in from the person before you just sign them up.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah. But it's open to anybody. And, we do classes year round. It's all virtual. I think you had some questions. One was, was this in person? It used to be. Okay. We haven't done in person since March of 2020 when everybody went out of the office for the pandemic. But we found that virtual worked so well, particularly with the guys we didn't think that would be the case. We thought, oh, they're never going to show up for class now, but actually it's easier for them because they don't have to leave home. They can take the class on their computer or just on their phone. And so guys are taking it and they're like, some guys are at work taking a class, they participate, they listen, so it's easy to do because it's all virtual. We'll probably go back to in person, but maybe not until like the 1st of next year. Okay. But virtual works. And that's for both classes, for Focus on Fathers, for the men and the Healthy Relationship. They're both virtual classes. And this is really pertinent to people who are mandated to do this, but the classes, there are 13 sessions for the men. And when it was in person, it was once a week, but now we'll do like 2 or 3 classes a week. So instead of it taking 13 weeks, it only takes like 6.5 weeks. That's pertinent to somebody who's been ordered to take the class. They just want to get it over with. And, and I just, I think that they should just be into what the class is about, but that's asking too much of people. If we can get it over quicker, it's better for them.
Does anybody ever return and do a second round, or is there different material, or is it always the same content?
It's the same content, but they do return. There's some guys that want to take it over and over and over again because they like being with the men, talking about, and so even though it's the same curriculum, no 2 classes are alike. It all depends on the facilitator and where they take it and what those guys start talking about. And we're very flexible. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. We have, a curriculum that we follow, but we really are going to react to where they want to go. And there's certain things we want to get in. I mean, we're talking about things like men's health. We're trying to get a little bit of their history. What do they think about disciplining children? What is it? Dealing with your co-parent, co-parenting, that piece, I think we have a different name, like getting along with your child's mom, that kind of thing. And see, Remix is all about that. It's all about relationships, the parental relationship and just how that affects the child. And so there we're getting into like, what are your values and dealing with conflict in a relationship. People are always stunned when you tell them that that's normal. It's like, what? You mean it's normal that we argue? There better be some, because if there aren't, somebody's not getting their way. Somebody's not happy. There has to be that back. That's just the way relationships work, and if you think that it's all smooth, and it just doesn't go that way, like you're setting yourself up for failure. But anyway, I'm saying we really get into it. And I appreciate the opportunity to talk to some of these guys in depth about these sort of things, because I know a lot of times nobody ever said this to them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I imagine that these aren't conversations that are typical in their life. They probably have never had to talk about their feelings, let alone with other men. Yes. So do you find that it's a little bit difficult in the beginning and then they kind of warm up and then by the end they're like in a totally different place?
That does happen. It happens very rapidly with us. I'm saying when it's all men in a room, they're not intimidated by any women. They're not afraid of how they're looking weak or whatever. It's all men. Now, they may be afraid of looking weak to men, but they'll see other men opening up. So it happens very rapidly. And that's what we're proud of. They trust us almost immediately because they know we've been doing this a long time. We've got a really good reputation. The judges know who we are because, you guys, you get them in there and you get them through those classes somehow. And these are guys that, look, there've been guys who've been ordered to take our class and the judge will say to them, look, if you don't go to the class, you're going to get locked up. And they'll they're so bold. They'll come to a couple of classes and say, I'm not going. And then they get locked up, that it amazes me. These are not.
The judge was not pretending.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's so and I'll tell them, I'll say, you cannot come if you want to, but you will be back because she's not going to let you off the hook. You may as well take it and do the best you can with it. They can participate as much or as little as they want, but usually very quickly, they think they're just going to sit there. But nope, somebody will say something and trigger, and now they're involved, and and then now they want to take it again. But you're right, people do want to take it again, but they can take it again, but they can't get the incentive of $200. They can't get that more than once. But if they want to come, it's fine with us. Is
there any way that like an average person like myself can contribute? Anybody watching this, like, can they donate? Can they provide anything with those gift cards? Like, is there anything that anybody can do to help this cause and to be a part of this or, help in any way?
I suppose that the best thing that we can ask others to do is to sort of like, just mention our program to people. When you hear people, see, here's the thing, we're federally funded and so they have very strict parameters under which you have to operate, like nobody can volunteer for us because they don't have the clearances, and you have to have the, I'm saying you've got to have clearances. When we hire somebody, it takes forever because they've got to be cleared. And, there's a lot of information we gather that is sensitive information for these, because we guard their privacy, and that's another reason that they trust us. We are not DHS. We are not the courts. We're not going to turn you in. We're mandated reporters, but the thing is, they need to trust us. And these are particularly men, and these guys, these are street guys. They don't trust the system much, but they trust us, and we won't let them down. So for that matter, like we can't take donations. We can't do any of that stuff because we're well funded. That's the whole thing.
Good. Well, that was my concern. Yeah. You said it was a 5-year grant. Does it just keep getting renewed?
Yes, it gets renewed. So I'm saying we had 5 years before this. So now we're in the third year of the second 5-year grant. Before this is over, we'll apply again. Now, it was something to get refunded, because a lot of times people get 5 years and they're done. But see, we got 5 years and now we got another 5 years, and we may get another 5 years, although that doesn't happen a lot, and those 5 years go very quickly. But we serve a lot of guys. So, I mean, see, the fact that you noticed this, that's the best thing. And you may mention this to somebody, that's what's helpful, because it's tough to reach these men. They don't just walk in, very few guys are just walking in because they want to be a better dad. Some are, but most of them are there because for some reason they have to be there. But we appreciate the guys, the few that are scattered in there who just want to be good dads, because they're the best ambassadors, and you're an ambassadoress, I guess, because by doing this, and I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. I am happy to put this anywhere that people can see it, and hopefully, it'll be beneficial to anybody watching.
Yeah.
And then hopefully they refer more people.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to give out a number. It's my number, because if someone wanted to call, I mean, I gave out the focusonfathers.org, but my number is 267-765-2361. You can dial that number. That's actually my number. Now, I don't really answer it much, but if you leave me a message, I will get back to you. I always get back to people. I have that reputation. But very often people, when they come through the program, they usually talk to me first. I'm sort of like, even though I got a zillion things to do, I talk to almost every single person that comes in. And then I hand them off to other people, because I just want to get them set up. I want to let them know what we do, that we're sincere, that they can trust us, that I get that, you don't trust anybody, or the system did this or that, but, or nobody cares about men. And I heard all that, we care, try us out.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed learning more about Focus on Fathers and you. Briefly, I know Larry because, I sold him a house so many years ago, and I follow him on Facebook, and I saw that he did this, and I was so pleased to be able to share that with my community and talk about what he does. And I thank you so much.
Same here. Thank you. Thanks for your, sincere interest. You've always been interested in this. I find that, just really kind of inspiring.
Yeah,
but it's
amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I am going to stop the recording now.
Okay.